Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hey everybody, I'm here again, Talib Abdurrahim Pew. Um, it's late like usual. I'm always seems to be doing these videos at this time, even when I first started. Sometimes I would do it early, but most of the time, everybody's sleeping, so it's a little more quieter or easier for me to, speak to the people, you know. Yeah, so pretty much another day in the times and crisis times, dealing with this coronavirus. I was watching TV earlier, and you get to see a lot what's going on, of course, on the TV, and I mean it's so really like something else because people are showing the realness of what it is in this life, more than anything. You don't see a whole lot of that entertainment unless you're watching those shows. Then that's regular because they're pre-recorded and all that stuff. So you're gonna see that, and but for the realness of it, you know, these some of these celebrities are talking and they're doing the vlogging like I'm doing, or they be on TV on the news, expressing about the things that they're going through, trying to cope, trying to keep their sanity per se, I guess you can say, and be patient with what's going on, and hoping that we'll come out of it. We'll be spared the virus, and the virus will go away. But of course, as we know, as Muslims, and we should know, Allah is the all compelling and the controller of all these things, So, all of us and everything in this life, period. So, when it comes down to it, it's all in His hands, it's in His control. So, for a Muslim, it's more simpler for us to deal with it, and my talks as I be talking and stuff, I'm gonna also kind of try to get back into the books that give a good foundation of what I'm talking about. Because of course I'm not a scholar. I'm not. I mentioned that in plenty of my videos. I'm not anybody alim, anybody of great knowledge, but I'm a brother to my Muslim brothers and sisters. I'm a husband to my Muslim wives, to my children, and I'm a relative and a sibling to my brothers, and a human being to the human world, you know. So of course I'm gonna, have feelings towards the people, and it goes down the line, the closest that you are to your people and your loved ones, and then down the line, even my friends, my Muslim brothers and sisters. That as far as Islam, we have to know that we have to return to Allah. And inna Allahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. From Allah we come, and to Allah we shall return. So it's the determination when He decrees when it's gonna be and what's gonna be. Some of us who got it, some of us who don't. Some of us we don't know if we'll get it. The virus and whatever in relation to the virus again, which some of these videos are gonna be based on for the time being. I'm gonna try to sway away from it after a while because this is gonna get redundant, and I don't want to depress people, but I also want to help and uplift because it's like for me, or look at it as like it's therapy, and I'm not a psychologist or any of those people. I just know what Allah's knowledge that He gives. That's therapy. That's therapy. That's the real therapy. The Quran and His Sunnah. And even myself, it's for me. As you hear me speaking, I'm speaking for myself first, because it's a therapy for me to even speak. Some of us have to do this. We have to speak out. We have to let loose of some of the things that we're going through more than anything. But for me, first to Allah. You got to give it to Allah first. And as a Muslims, we're supposed to pray 5 times a day. We make dua throughout the day, which is the extra supplication of prayers that we make. We should be making a lot of istighfar, asking Allah for forgiveness throughout the day so that He'll be pleasing to us, because we fall short as Muslims. Besides the kuffar, fall short, or the non-Muslims fall short more than us, in essence of, because the further away from Allah and in belief in Allah and the Creator and worshiping Him and thinking that, their desires are more important, as He's taken away many of the portions of the desires of the people here, of what people want to do, the happiness that they've been, striving for, to be rich and this and that, all that type of stuff, move to another place, travel to another land, what have you, get married, all these things have been stunted. And, men are in charge of doing it, but they are doing it due to what has taken place that they had no control over. Maybe they did. Allah knows best. All the conspiracy theories, good portion of it has come to truth. But they're not going to reveal that, because, of course, they don't want the people to rise up over them, and they're fearful of people just losing it and saying, "Oh, this government is crazy. They're evil. We got to go up against them." And no, so all that stuff is not really relevant right now. What's relevant is to be patient. And talking to myself first, you can't. What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do other than what we can do? It's in Allah's hands. And at some point in time, I just felt, what if something just actually happens? I used to watch videos of the preppers, these guys, these people that, start later on in life, when things started really going down a lot with the country's social order and the country's, the values, and a whole lot of stuff just started going down, and the world, a lot of the bad things that were happening all over the world, especially due to Muslims being killed and massacred, and then non-Muslims too, but people were seeing all this stuff, and and then the 9/11 just like was like the covering of the cake. Well, part covering. This is the covering on the cake, and then who's to say what's going to come later? But ultimately, in Islam, like we always say, and must know that we have to put our trust in Allah. And there's a book that I want to get into, maybe in one of the videos or two of the videos, and just read a little bit from it. It's called Tawakkul. And for those who are not Muslim and don't understand Arabic, it's basically the meaning, from what I've learned and understand. And any of you Muslims want to comment and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I learned when I read the book and the meaning in the book itself. I don't have the time to look for it, because I'm just referring to it right now. So it's basically to put your trust in Allah, and that's upon Tawheed. Of course, you only putting your trust in Allah alone. You don't put no trust into any being on this earth, or anything on this earth, and anything above this earth, and anything under this earth, or in it, in the universe. You don't put your trust in the universe. You don't put your trust in the sun. You don't put your trust in the planet Earth. You don't put your trust in Mother Nature, who is a fictional being, or so-called supposed to be a person, which is it's not for real. They just made a symbolic name for nature, and they gave it, a gender, and which is not that bad. But basically, what it came out of it, in Islam, as we know, it's called shirk, and people started like really putting, like almost literally worship on that, Mother Nature, as they say, has control over the earth. And this is incorrect because the one who created the earth does, you know. And from what I know, I never heard of no Mother Nature until I heard it the first time. Other than that, and then even after that, there's not a whole lot of history or understanding on who this person is, other than some mythological background. So, but basically, I'm not trying to, be what do you call it, judgmental or anything, as some people say, whatever, or judging other people's beliefs, if that's what you say or you want to call it. Basically, Tawheed, when it comes to trust in Allah, it is based on that, based on pure monotheism, that you don't trust in anything else but Allah, that Allah is the one who has control over your life. Allah is the one who is the provider. Allah is the one who is the judge. Allah is the one who is the healer. Allah is the one who is the often forgiving, the most merciful. Allah is the one who protects fully. Not what I can do to protect my family, because there's plenty of times men couldn't protect their families. Not to mention the basketball player, the famous basketball player, which was sad to a lot of people in America, even throughout the world, Kobe Bryant. He died with his daughter. Inna Allahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. From Allah we come, and to Allah we shall return. Allah has control over your life or death, and his daughter as well. He could not save his daughter. He couldn't save himself. And those people, other people in that helicopter, it's impossible, because it wasn't for them to be able to have control, because it's in Allah's control. Not to say that Allah destroyed the helicopter. Maybe could have been some file up with the people who had ownership of the helicopter. Who knows? But it was done. It was decreed. And that's where trust in Allah, tawakkul, falls into. That whatever Allah decrees for your life, you can't change it. Unless you ask Allah to change certain things in your life, and he may will to do it, if he chooses to. If it isn't, that it is up to him, But that's the clarity of what we understand as Muslims, and we're supposed to. Not every Muslim does. There's some of us that need to learn our faith enough to know. I'm still learning. These are some of the basics on when it comes to our foundation of our faith. We have to know, and they call it aqidah, meaning the belief system, the creed of our belief. And that's what my life has been based on since I became a Muslim, even before. I was on a path of that, and I mentioned that in some of my other videos. If you've never seen them, I'm a person of Tawheed. I'm not a perfect person. So hear those two. I'm a person of Tawheed, but I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect human being. And I fall. I've had errors in my life. I've done wrongs. And Allah knows best. And always ask Allah to make me better than what someone might perceive me to be a good brother and righteous brother. May Allah protect me from what that only he knows of, any wrongs that I might have done in my life, But, I'm striving, and we all striving. And, some of us are not striving on the right path. And the only path that we should be striving on is to pleasing and putting our trust in and worshiping that being, that the one who created us. And that's what it's coming down to in your real life. You're sitting in your home and you're thinking about your life. What's gonna end? What is the end and all? What's the end of? And what's whether it's going to be coming to the end, or whether it's going to be where you'll survive what you're going through, what we're going through as a people in the whole entire world. It's a real reality check. This virus, as it's been to many people times that these types of plagues, as they say back in the past, have come upon the people. You know, if it wasn't for my faith, I may be going through in a hard way too. I might have depression. Now I know one thing I do have. I have anxiety. You know, and I got plenty of stress. But the stress goes away and it gets balanced out by my faith. Because every time I get stressed out or uh, I'm worried, or I might even be sad at some point, because depression doesn't. I can't get depressed. It's not a state of being for me anymore as I was before I was Muslim, because I'm Muslim. It's like you have to put your trust in Allah. That's just your that's just part of your faith. That's just one of the main parts of your faith. You know, you can't be a person just sitting around poting, woe is me, and crying and feeling like your life is going down the drain all the time. No, you got to think about, oh, Allah got you. If you got Him in your mind and in here, especially in here. This is the main that heart, loving Him and respect and revering Him and giving Him your life to say, I'm yours, and tell me how to be right by you. Tell me how to do right by you. You know, live this life that which you gave me, so that when you're ready to take me back, then I would be right. So especially for us Muslim brothers and sisters, this is something we should definitely know. We should know without a doubt, because there's plenty of us that know of our brothers and sisters that went before us, and they're not here anymore. And some of us went to their janazas and laid them to rest, or wrapped their bodies. Sometimes we still mourn them and might shed a little tear remembering them, you know, or our own loved ones that passed. You know, like my mom, the closest loved one to me, you know, but she never accepted Islam, so it was even harder for me to deal with, you know. But now, you know, I'm able to cope with it. I might tear and then mourn, but I know everything is in the hands of Allah. She's still in the hands of Allah, even though she's gone. Whatever is to be with her and him, I don't have any control. I can only, you know, just keep moving in my life, you know. And you know, those who I can touch and give, like my brothers, you know, they love me and I love them, and I try to give them whatever I know, and the good and the righteous guidance of my faith, of course. You know, only one of them accepted Islam, by the way. I don't know what's his status as far as with it now, you know, but I know he was praying 5 times a day, or trying to, and he was, you know, trying to follow it. But it's this life before this coronavirus thing that put a stop to a lot of stuff. It's in the way of a lot of people. It's been in the way of a lot of people seeing reality of what life really is. Yeah, really seeing the reality of it, you know. But I think I might have to cut this video in half. I went a little bit long, and I'm trying to do the next video, because these videos, you can't really have them that long, you know, to load them up on the YouTube. All right, so until the next one, inshallah, thumbs up and subscribe if none of you have subscribed yet. Inshallah. All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.